very much trial and error.
It pulls like a steam train.
Since opening in 1907, Brooklands has always attracted the best mechanics and engineers.
There we go.
Determined to push the boundaries of the engines and the vehicles they maintain. And it remains like that today.
Let's give them a try.
For the past 5 years, professional cameraman Perry Barwick has been volunteering at the museum to help preserve its priceless collection of vintage motorcycles.
Wow.
What do you think?
What's we brought for you this time?
Another Triumph engine for you.
Today he's come to Ashton, just a stone's throw away from Brooklands, with an exciting find that he's recovered from a barn. An extremely rare Triumph L21 that had been wasting away for over half a century. But Perry needs some help from fellow motorbike fanatic Michael Digby.
So this is it?
This is it, yeah.
Wow.
They don't get much more original than this one.
That looks good.
The same gentleman's owned it pretty much from new until it was put in a barn.
Wow.
In its day, this L21 was a reasonably sporty 250cc. The fact it's a lightweight frame with a very good engine meant that a lot of people used to buy these up and turn them into race bikes, which is why they were successful at Brooklands as well.
Retired electrical engineer Michael
I thought you'd appreciate this.
is the go-to guy when it comes to restoring old Triumph engines.
I come to Brooklands because these guys are brilliant. You know, some of these experience, some of these people, and I'm learning all the time. And if we let that disappear, who's going to fix up these old bikes? Because they're not like that anymore. This is Britain's heritage. We can't just let them disappear.
Well, should we get it off?
Let's do that.
Get it in the workshop?
There we are. I think we should preserve its look.
Mm-hmm.
We do all the mechanics. We can put it on the road for probably the first time in 60 years.
Yeah.
My father was a big influence on me with all things mechanical, particularly motorcycles. He had a bike all his life, mainly a Triumph man. And he put us on a bike from a very early age, and I was scrambling when I was about 10, running around the garden with my brother on the back, tearing the lawn up. Yeah, we just clicked on that.
Knowing where to begin on a project like this only comes with experience.
I think we just get things out of the way. They get the tank, the seat, the exhaust, the gear change, primary chain case. Get those things out of the way. Let's hope for the best.
There we go. Oh, look at the electrics. Look at that, the tank's in remarkable condition.
From my point of view, I just like seeing things brought back to life. They were abandoned, but we're actually giving them a new lease of life. Appeals to me. I find it very satisfying.
With all the major parts out of the way, they can finally get a good look at the distinctive Triumph engine.
The last two bolts at the bottom of the engine, which are difficult to get to. There we go. If we can get that. That's cool. There we go. I've got it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the big moment where we're going to take the head off and expose the piston and see what kind of condition the engine's in. Fingers crossed, it'll be good.
I'm quite excited, Perry.
It's an unknown at the moment. What we're going to see.
It's been rusting away in a barn for over half a century, and they have no idea what they'll find under the engine casing.
Well, the piston is the heart of the engine.
It's also, for this age, it's one of the hardest bits to get hold of.
A piston in an engine transfers the force from the expanded combustion gases to the crankshaft. If the piston is broken, it could spell disaster for this Triumph. Replacement parts are even rarer than the bike itself.
The big moment, I guess we lift the head off and see what state the piston's in.
Go on then, Perry.
Oh, it's all intact.
It's all there.
It's all there. So we're going to need a good clean, Michael. The valves have got no carbon on them at all. The piston looks brand new. This is all amazing news, but the piston's moving.
Yeah, it's working fine. That's great.
Isn't it? Excellent.
Triumph motorcycles were once considered to be amongst the best in the world. Their light frames and powerful engines resulted in a long and illustrious history on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, why don't I leave the engine with you? I'll take the bike back to Brooklands.
Yeah.
We'll get it on a bench, and then when the engine comes back, we'll fit it in and see what we can get.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting this 85-year-old back on the road.
So am I, yeah.
Oh, it's a bit lighter now, isn't
It's
it?
a lot lighter without the engine. Well, today's been a great day going forward with that. There's still a lot of work to be done, and anybody who has ever built a classic bike before knows you've got to go through everything. You've got to make sure it's all done. Good luck with that engine. I'll see you at Brooklands. But then to start a restoration, you've always got that apprehension, but the excitement of putting something back together and keeping the history running. It's not just going to sit in the barn, it's not going to rot away. All right, Michael, let's get the engine inside before it rains.
Perry and Michael have been busy restoring the extremely rare Triumph L21 found abandoned in a barn for over 50 years. Perry has been fixing the frame and Michael has completely overhauled the engine.
Try and get this in the frame today.
You're younger, you can lift it.
I'll put this on the bench.
Well done.
Okay. Right, there we go.
And what better place to work on the bike than in the historic McAvoy shed? Michael McAvoy trained as an engineer at Rolls-Royce before he set up shop at Brooklands building bikes.
It's as it was in what, the late 20s, I suppose, Michael? Probably.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed, this workshop. This is where they built the bikes.
This workshop is an exhibit in itself, and if you look around, all these items are from pre-war days.
Before the bike can be pieced back together, they first need to make sure the engine works. So to begin with, they'll run it with provisional parts.
So we've got this, which we use as a temporary fuel tank. Michael supplied this. It's an unusual thing. Where'd it come from, Mike?
Came from an Atco lawnmower.
Oh, one of the vintage lawnmowers. Fantastic. So we get the engine in. Mm-hmm. Up. Carefully does it. Line that up. Hang on, it's got to... There we go.
That's it.
Brilliant. It's amazing, isn't it? As soon as you put an engine in a bike, even just an empty frame, it's it just transforms it.
It looks like a motorbike.
It feels like a motorbike, yeah. And not a push bike. It's like it wants to come back to life.
Yeah.
The primary chain that Michael's putting on now runs from the engine sprocket, which is fixed to the end of the crankshaft. So when the piston goes up and down, it spins the crankshaft. That turns the chain, and that is linked to the clutch and the gearbox housing here, which in turn will go from a secondary chain to the back wheel, and that gives you a drive forward. Okay, Michael, I'll put some fuel in, I think.
Yes, okay.
That'll do us,
Barry.
We've fitted the gearbox, the engine. It's all plumbed up with fuel and oil. The chain's on. We've got a temporary tank. We've fitted the old seat just in place. We've got a throttle. We're going to get the bike off of here, outside, and see if we can get it running for the first time, probably since the late 40s.
After being left unused in a barn for over half a century,
Got no brakes. There we go.
this historic Triumph may require more than a good kickstart.
Michael, we got everything sorted? Do you think it's going to run?
Well, I hope so, yeah. That's why we're here.
You have the honours and start it. I'll turn the fuel on. Good luck. Woo! Whoa! Look at that! Second kick! Fantastic. Sounds really good. Fantastic. Look at that. It sounds fantastic. Yeah, I'll get my helmet and I'll give it a go. Woohoo!
sounded good, and well, it's moved.
Love it.
I'm really chuffed. And he had a smile on his face too.
It's a privilege because I don't only get to restore and work on some of Britain's racing heritage, I get to race and ride them as well. And some of these bikes are really special one-offs with amazing history behind them. One more lap and it's your go.
Sorry.
Your turn.
My turn.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
it's running fantastic, but you've got to remember there's no front brake and the rear brake is useless.
No, it sounded very nice.
I think it's time to let it go. As a first run, that's impressive, and it'll only get better. But hey, we've got a running bike. How brilliant is that? For an 85-year-old barn find, within a very short period of time, it's now running on the track. I mean, how brilliant. That's fantastic, isn't it? Let's get it back to the shed.
Right here then. I'm feeling very good. I'm very happy with the way things have gone today. It felt better than I expected, to be honest.
What a great day. It's brilliant. So myself and Michael finish this job off, and it's on to the next one.
You know, we're not just a load of static exhibits.